they throw all these things against the wall, and then weeks go on, and we got to go back and clean them up. And I want to go back and clean one of them up. The student loans. There's information you need to have about this so you can understand how you're being played. And believe it or not, there's a piece in the New York Slimes today by Mark Kranowitz and Lynn O'Shaughnessy. In the New York Slimes, believe it or not. The interest rate on the popular Stafford Federal Student Loan Program is set to double in July. Stay with me now. You're going to have information that others don't. After the Senate could not reach on Tuesday on a way to keep the rate at 3.4%. Obama's blamed the Republican obstruction for the looming rate increase and so forth. But the partisan posturing is a distraction from far more pressing issues that face students and parents who must borrow to cover their college costs. It goes on. This debate about interest rates is more rhetoric than substance. Now here we go. Stay with me. If the rate on the subsidized Stafford Federal Loan Program does double as scheduled to 6.8% this summer, very little will happen. In fact, students, listen to this, students who borrow through this program, ready for this, will ultimately end up paying only about $6 a month extra for 1 year of loans. Have you heard this before? No. Look at what they have us fighting about. Look at this tangled web. For a whole week, 10 days, this thing's been going on and on. $6. $6 a month extra for 1 year of loans. And the rate increase won't affect previous loans, as I explained before. Only new loans borrowed for the 2012-2013 school year. Period. Let's look more closely, they write, at what's on the table. The proposals that Congress has been debating would extend the 3.4% interest rate for only 1 year. If a student borrowed the average subsidized federal Stafford loan of $3,357 at 6.8% for the next school year, the higher interest rate would boost the borrower's debt by $761 over a 10-year repayment period. So even if the interest rate doubles, the monthly payment on the subsidized federal Stafford loan would increase by only about 1/6, or $6 a month. What few observers seem to appreciate is that the low rate of 3.4% took effect only last July. Only last July. As recently as 2007, the rate was 6.8%. The Democrats made reducing the interest rate on student loans into a winning campaign issue in 2006. And so they fulfilled their campaign promise by ushering through the College Cost Reduction and Access Act of 2007, which gradually reduced the subsidized Stafford rate over a 4-year period. Now you know the full story. And now you know how completely bogus this entire issue is. We've had people call here, I have $200,000 in loans, and if it goes up to $6,000, this doesn't even affect you. It has nothing to do with you. It involves a loan being taken out for 1 year, the next school year, paid off over 10 years with the additional interest, if they can't make a deal, of $72 a year or $6 a month. And this is what they have us fighting over. Just like the payroll tax cut. Remember that one? $40 a month. This is what, fighting over $6 a month. $40 a month. Fighting over utter nonsense while the walls are crumbling. While the floor is breaking up right under our feet. So you young folks listening to me, this is a non-issue. It is a non-issue. And but for these op-ed contributors, Kranowitz and O'Shaughnessy, you never would have heard this. Because it's not being reported in the news. Is it? You folks, you're the Paul and Paulette Reveres, as I've called you for years. as I've called you in Liberty and Tyranny, you're the people who have to spread the word that what Obama is offering students in exchange for their vote is a 1-year loan with a $6 a month cut. That's it. Nothing more. Remember a few months ago we had a new program for people who had their homes were being foreclosed? Remember that program? Whatever happened to that program? Nothing. It didn't do a damn thing. They're throwing things at the wall as fast as they can, trying to work one group after another, and by the time the facts catch up, they're on to the next thing. Oh, same-sex marriage. Got a caller here yesterday, Matt. A perfectly nice guy, but he kept repeating himself. And he was wrong every time he repeated himself. Obama's going to give us rights. He's gay, and he says Obama's going to give it. Obama's not giving you anything. He's not proposing legislation. Today it's the lawsuit against Sheriff Joe, who's been so demonized. Why? To work up the Latino community. Look at us at the Justice Department. We're going after Sheriff Joe right there in Maricopa County. Look at us. We stand between you and whatever they stand between. Oh, and the women, we know what women want, we liberals. They just want free contraceptives. Isn't that what you women are demanding? Free contraceptives? And if somebody says, wait a minute, how are you going to pay for that? Hey, you're anti-woman. Or if the Catholic Church speaks up and says, whoa, 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 we're not paying for policies like that. Really? Well, let's have a compromise. You are paying for policies like that. That's our compromise. Student loan issue. Phony. $6 a month. Phony. Contraceptives issue. Phony. But they're going to ram it down our throats in August and violate the First Amendment. Individual liberty, religious liberty. For a phony issue. Obama announces he's for same-sex marriage. Wow. Now what? Nothing. Nothing. Oh, so courageous. You need to know what we're dealing with here. You need to know who we're dealing with here. The man is a master at one thing, manipulation. And the truth is, if he didn't have this big media with him, he wouldn't even be a master at that. You folks got to cut through this. He's going to be coming after you if you're of a particular minority group, your particular income group, particular age group. What else? Whatever group they categorize us in now, he's going to be working you over. He's going to be creating enemies and straw men and devil figures. We're doing all these things. Same time, he's going to be lying about his record. If he has to talk about it and he doesn't want to, he's going to be lying about it. He's going to be invoking Ronald Reagan. For you Reagan Democrats, you blue-collar Democrats, you union folks. By the way, there's less union people working now as a result of this president's policies. And I have a question for the LGBT community. Well, let me put it to you this way. I bet there's less people working today who are in the LGBT community than there were when Obama was elected. What do you think of that? Do we have statistics on that? Of course not. I bet there are less lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and transgenders who have jobs today as a result of Obama's policies than had jobs 3.5 years ago. Because all of us are affected by these policies in an extremely negative way. Are the folks in the LGBT community paying more for fuel? Yes. Are they paying more for food? Yes. Are they losing homes like everybody else? Yes. They talk about equal rights. We want equal rights for everybody. How about equal wrongs? Mark, what do you mean? What I mean, ladies and gentlemen, is when you have a president like this and a Senate boss like Reid and an obstructionist like Pelosi, and you have these destructive policies, everybody's affected. And everybody's affected negatively. Then you have real equality, the lowest common denominator for a society. Isn't that interesting? Equality of misery. Nobody's unaffected. Regardless of genitalia, regardless of what you do with your genitalia, regardless of your color, regardless of your religion, if you have a religion, regardless of your height, regardless of how much hair you have or don't have, regardless of your clothing, regardless. Everybody's affected across the board. That's the problem with this president and his policies and why he needs to be defeated.